Let us look briefly at one of the absurdities of life, one of the myriad of absurdities of this thing called life, and that is age. Now, as I'm getting along a little bit, over half a century, then it is to be expected that I'm going to start feeling the onset of age. I've done very well in my life because it's only been in recent years that I've started to feel such a thing. And so sometimes I feel like I am lacking energy. It takes me a long time, longer than it used to recover from a good workout in the gym. And I've got a couple of little aches and pains in my hip joints and knee joints, depending on how much squatting or walking I do. And so there are times when we get up or we sit down and you go, you know, something's pulled in your back, and then you go, is this how it's gonna be? Only it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And indeed it is. That's how it is. And so we can look at it, this phenomena, one of two ways. We can have a resentment towards it, and we can whinge about it, and we can curse, and we can incessantly feel sorry for ourselves in relation to this. Or we can have a level of acceptance whereby it's just like, hey man, okay, so this hip is, you know, getting a bit painful, but the other one isn't. You know, this side of my back is twinging a little bit, but the other side isn't. And so always maintaining a level of optimism and gratitude for our existence. At least we're still alive, at least we're still mobile, at least we're not entirely riddled with pain. However much pain we are carrying, there could always be more, couldn't there? And so if we consider this, and if we have gratitude for the times we're not in pain, then I think that enables us to get along far more gracefully as we go back down the bell curve of life. I've often contemplated how cruel it is, giving you, in the one hand, amazing strength and vitality and vigour and zest and enthusiasm for life, given to the youth. It's often said that youth is wasted on the young. Of course, it's a paradox, but to have this beautiful health that young people have, invariably they never ever appreciate it because they've never felt what it is to be infirm or old, the onset of age and all this sort of thing, and so they take it all for granted. Whereas when we get older, we can reflect upon the times when we had endless energy and vitality and zest for life, and we just wish we could have some of that back. And we may reflect upon occasions when we took it all for granted and we abused this beautiful thing that we've been given with as a vehicle to travel through this thing we call life. And so reflecting upon things like this from time to time, I think it does us the world of good. And what I do is, you see, I look at the certain things that I have got, and most of them, to be fair, they're brought about by myself via my incessant desire to keep fit and strong and a reasonable level of muscularity, which of course is governed by ego for a larger extent, but it's also governed by the desire that I have for longevity. I want to keep firm, I want to keep strong, I want to keep mobile, and so therefore, ever since I've been 50, it's been a punishment. It's not really a joy anymore, it's a punishment, because things hurt. You don't have the energy, and when you're doing it, it's kind of like, you know, this sort of thing. And so it's a bit like, you know, it's a bit masochistic, to be fair. There is a pleasure derived out of the longevity of the desire that you're trying to achieve, but there's also a suffering involved, and you have to learn to enjoy the suffering, because if you don't enjoy the suffering, then the burdensome nature of the pain and suffering involved in keeping your body in shape, it will become too much and you will give up. So therefore, I think it would be fair to say then that if you are going to appreciate your longevity and you're going to be mobile for as long as you possibly can, then you have to become a masochist. That's sick. It's sick, isn't it? But this is something that nature has given us to grapple with. Why does it give us this beauty in a position in our lives when we've got no level of gratitude for it? And then when we have got a level of gratitude, it takes it away. Every single day, week, month, year, it keeps taking away a little bit more energy, a little bit more vitality, a little bit more strength, a little bit more nimbleness, a little bit more vigour to get out of bed every day to do it all over again. It keeps taking that away from us until in the end, I think with lots of people, they just give up because they're in so much pain. They're not enjoying this body anymore. They look up and say, God, why have you forsaken me? Why did you bless me and curse me at the same time? What sort of God are you that does that to man and animals? And so, to laugh, next time you have a pain anywhere in your body, try to enjoy it. The sadomasochism thing, masochistic. Enjoy your pain, because I'm pretty sure if you enjoy the pain, then you will alleviate some of the symptoms, and by the enjoyment of it, you will release endorphins and good cells, rejuvenatory cells, which are going to combat some of the age. Because if you dwell in a mindset, oh, I'm in pain, oh, I'm old, oh, I'm knackered, oh, it's all over for me, then your mind is going to create more of the stuff you're thinking about. So in a nutshell then, people, what I'm doing, I'm maintaining my level of optimism about this world, because it's so bizarre, it's so curious, and you will never work it out why things are like they are. You just have to get a level of acceptance and humour. You have to retain a level of humour for everything. And if you retain a level of humour with your aging body and all the faculties that you once had, they're being diminished. If you can retain humour, then I'm pretty sure that you may die with a smile on your face. What do you reckon, guys? You may be in absolute abject pain, suffering, but if you can see the humour in that, because there is humour in it somewhere. And this is something I've gleaned out of psychedelics, and I've gleaned out of many things in my life. There always seems to be a facet of humour involved. Curious, huh? Bye for now.